Okay, let's dive into this explainer. We spend endless hours scrutinizing top-line revenue and bottom-line profits, right? But today, we're turning our attention completely inward. We're looking at the very people driving those numbers, and honestly, we're investigating a massive organizational mystery that's likely hiding in plain sight. We're going to become data detectives today to figure out exactly what is happening to the talent engine of your business. Let's get into it.
What we're really looking at here is the silent threat facing pretty much every single business, a massive, often completely undetected drain of talent. The source material brings this right to the forefront. Listen, organizations lose people, that's a given, it happens. But when we just look at the total number of people walking out the door, we're missing the entire story. A raw number just tells you your ship is leaking, but it gives you absolutely zero clues about where the hole actually is. I mean, if 100 people leave, are they retirees naturally exiting the workforce? Or are they your newest wave of young, innovative talent? Total numbers hide the truth. They mask the actual demographic reality of who is walking out the door, which leaves leadership completely blind to the real problem.
So, the crucial point is figuring out exactly how to solve this puzzle and answer one absolutely pivotal question drawn directly from our source. Which age group had the highest drain of talent? If you can't answer this right now, well, your retention strategies are basically just throwing darts in the dark. Finding the answer to this exact question changes everything about how an organization protects its future and retains its absolute best minds.
Section 1. The Talent Drain Mystery. This right here is our baseline metric, attrition age category-wise. For a moment, we're deliberately ignoring departments, pay scales, job titles, the whole shebang. The source mandates that we look at total attrition strictly through the lens of age. This demographic filter is the foundational step in our investigation. It forces us to, stop viewing turnover as this giant monolithic HR problem and start treating it as a targeted demographic vulnerability.
Moving on to Section 2, categorizing by age group.
By categorizing attrition by age group, we instantly isolate our suspect pool. We're no longer staring at a faceless workforce. We are looking at specific generations and life stages, transforming vague employee turnover into highly targeted data. Imagine an organization losing its 26 to 35-year-old cohort at double the rate of everyone else. That's not just turnover, guys. That is your entire future leadership pipeline literally vanishing right before your eyes. Separating the data like this allows us to see exactly where the foundation is crumbling.
The methodology here is a super crisp, logical sequence. Step 1. Identify the target age cohort. Step 2. Calculate the attrition specifically within that group. And Step 3. Express it as a ratio. Basically, it's isolate, calculate, convert. Doing this removes the emotion and gives us pure, comparable data. It's a highly efficient operational framework that completely cuts through the noise of standard HR reporting and gives us something structurally sound to actually analyze.
Okay, Section 3. Tracking time month to year.
The essential key here is that our final output calculation isn't just a raw number. It's strictly expressed as a ratio. The source is very deliberate about this because a ratio standardizes the data. Think about it. If you lose 10 people from a highly specialized pool of 100 Gen Z employees and 10 people from a massive pool of 1,000 baby boomers, the raw number of 10 is exactly the same, right? But the severity of the leak is drastically different. The ratio is the great equalizer here. It reveals the true intensity of the drain, preventing those large departments from overshadowing the critical losses happening in smaller pivotal cohorts.
Now this timeline maps out our investigation intervals, showing that we must measure this ratio strictly on a monthly, quarterly, and yearly basis. You absolutely cannot just look at this once a year and expect to truly understand your talent drain. It just doesn't work. A one-month check reveals immediate reactions, maybe the fallout from a poorly received policy change. A quarterly check? Well, that shows emerging cultural trends and burnout cycles. And the yearly metric reveals the undeniable, macro-level reality of your employee life cycle.
By crossing our age ratios with these specific timeframes, distinct patterns immediately emerge. You might discover that your 26 to 35 cohort is perfectly stable month to month, but then exhibits a massive, totally predictable spike in attrition right at the yearly mark, perhaps just after annual bonuses are paid out or vesting periods end. The timeline provides the context that gives the ratio its ultimate meaning. It shifts our perspective from simply knowing who is leaving to anticipating exactly when they are going to walk out.
Which brings us to Section 4, finding the highest drain.
By standardizing these metrics side by side, all the ambiguity just vanishes, and the highest ratio dictates your strategy. It's no longer a guessing game of executives sitting around saying, I kind of feel like we're losing our mid-level managers. Nope, It is a hard, mathematical certainty. The data isolates the exact demographic in crisis, and this is exactly where you need to direct your retention budgets, your targeted engagement surveys, and your cultural audits to finally stop the bleeding.
So, we return to our inciting question, but now we're fully armed with the targeted, age-categorized data necessary to actually solve the mystery. Which age group had highest drain of talent? We started with this core question from the source, and by meticulously categorizing total attrition, isolating it within specific cohorts, converting it to an equalizing ratio, and tracking it across distinct timeframes, well, we've built the exact bulletproof framework needed to answer it. The math is simple, for sure, but the strategic advantage, it's immense.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really challenge you to look at your own organization's data. The mathematical framework from our source material is right in front of you. Because until you run these specific ratios across your timeline, you are bleeding talent, and you honestly don't even know whose ideas you're losing. So I'll leave you with this. Which age group is quietly draining from your organization right now?